Hello everyone. Today we will discuss the topic design of absolute loader and direct linking loader. Before we starting the design of absolute loader, the programmer and the assembler executes the task of location, relocation and linking. Means the programmer and the assembler executes the task of location, relocation and the linking. Thus, it is only essential for the loader to read records of the object file and shift the text to the record into the absolute location declared by the assembler in a main memory. Right? Understand? There are two kinds of information that the object file must be contained from the assembler to the loader. Right? Primary, it must transmit the machine instruction that the assembler has formed along with the allocated core location. And what is next? It must transmit the entry point to the program, which is where the loader is to transport control when all instructions are loaded. These are two primary things done by the assemblers. Okay. The algorithm for an absolute loader is a pretty simple. The object file as shown in the figure, the object file for this loader comprise of a series of text record completed by a transfer record. Okay. So the loader should read one record at a time, moving the text to the location started on the record until the transfer record is accomplished. Here the assembled instructions are in core and it is only essential to transmit to entry point started on the transfer record. Okay. A flowchart of this process is shown in this figure. Okay. All of you got it? Now we discuss linking loader. Okay. Now we discuss the linking loader. Since the direct linking loader required to know the absolute, that is the load time, absolute value of some external symbols before it can carry out the alternation on address constant, it needs two passes. Okay. What? The direct linking loader needs the two passes. Okay. We will see in later. Okay. Pass 1. The purpose of the first pass is to assign a location to each segment and thus to define the values of external symbols. Okay. First one is what? Input object files. Second, a parameter, the initial program load address, that is nothing but the IPLA, provides the programmer or operating system that specifies the address to load the first segment of the program. Okay. Third one is a program load address, PLA counter, right, utilized to keep track of each segment's assigned location. PLA is utilized for the keeping track on each segments. Okay. Right. Number 4, a table, the global external symbol table, GEST, that is used to mask each external symbol and its corresponding assigned core addresses. What it will be stored? The external symbol and its corresponding assigned core addresses. Number 5, a copy of input to be used later by the pass 2, means pass 1's a copy, pass 1 passes the copy of input to the pass 2. This may be a mask on an auxiliary storage device such as magnetic tape, disk or drum, or the original object file may be reread by the loader at a second time for the pass 2. What is pass 2? Pass 2 is the next step of pass 1. Next one is number 6, a printed listening, the load map that states each external symbol and its assigned value. Okay, that is the 6th point. Now we will see the pass 2. Okay, now we will see the pass 2. In a pass 2, copy of object program to be inputted to pass 1. Here the copy passes by the pass 1 is inputted, right? The initial program load address parameter. Okay, the initial program will be load the address parameter. Third one is the program load address counter, PLA. Fourth one is the global external table, GEST, arranged by the pass 1, comparing each external symbol and its corresponding absolute address value. It will be check the external symbol with the absolute values, address values. And number 5 is an array, the local external symbol, that is LESA, which is utilized to establish a corresponding among the names used on ESD and RLD records, and the analogous external symbol absolute address. Okay, all of you got it. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you so much.